older generation kept the traditional sound going. A younger generation takes the music in a different direction. For Gabriel women, church music has been the main outlet. Marjorie has taken that vocation and made it into an avocation. A church organist, she has brought gospel into the Catholic liturgy.
It was unheard of in the Catholic Church. Well, being a young person and rather enthusiastic, I thought it'd be nice to do something a little livelier at Mass. One Sunday I tried Oh Happy Day, about 1971. I thought the old ladies were going to kill me. Some of them said if they wanted to hear that kind of music, they would have stayed where they were in the Baptist church. And they were very furious that I would bring that kind of music into the Catholic Church. And so it wasn't easy bringing in anything lively, especially with an older congregation. We had a lot of seniors. Oh, they just did not gravitate to it. And so I reverted back to some gospel music, but something that wasn't quite as lively, like Give Me a Clean Heart and some of the hymns that were soulful, but I had to trick them, make them think it wasn't soulful. I didn't call it gospel, and so it was okay.
Aside from bringing the gospel influence more into the Catholic Church, you've also been involved with bringing jazz into the liturgy too. Can you talk a little bit about that?
This is true. I call the masses that I use horns and drums and bass are jazz masses. When my uncle traveled, he traveled all over the country, all over the world, and he came back and he still wanted me to play with him, my Uncle Charles. He still wanted me to play music with him, and but he never asked me. And one day, we were having a get-together, and I said, "Did you ever play in the church before?" And he had played in the church when they were children. He and my cousin Clarence Ford had played. They learned, their first song was Savior Lead Me Lest I Stray was the first song that they learned. My grandfather taught them. They really hadn't played in the church. And so I gave him that idea, and he didn't know why he hadn't played in the church, so he started playing with me. He would come over and play with me for masses, donated services, for church services, and something happened to him for playing at the church. He told me that he never realized that there was so much alike, the church music and the jazz that he was playing. And so now we have these services where we have horn parts, we have our own contemporary bass player, we've got a drummer, we've got sometimes tambourines and other percussion instruments, and we do a lot of jazz.
And so the generations of musicians carry on. Back in New Orleans, cousin Clarence Ford maintains the standard, as do his sons Thaddeus and Louis. Keeping it going is what it's all about.
I played with Willie Humphrey's daddy, and this guy, I was playing with this guy, he told me, he said, "You know one thing, son?" He said, "I'm glad to play with you." So I'm going to play with you. I said, "Why is that?" He says, "Because I played with your dad." He said, "I played with your grandfather." And this man was very old. He played with my grandfather, he played with my dad. He said, "I played with 3 generations, and I'm playing with you." So I was honored for me to play with him.